Hello and welcome back to another episode of Review Your Death Clips. My name is Aiken. I have played quite a bit of World of Warcraft Hardcore. I have leveled every class to level 60, did all of the content including killing KT on both sides. So let's jump right into it and see what kind of death clips we have today. Alright, so welcome back to another episode. Let's look at the first death of today, which is from Shizami, who is playing a shaman. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, let's talk about that because frankly that is the most common way of dying. So this guy is leveling a warrior, shaman, and a rogue. Has a couple of other alts, so a serious alt maniac on Doomhowl, and is suffering from an elevator death. So listen, I mean, the most common one is in Undercity, but this one here is also not uncommon. He has sprint going. He does even have save fall at that level, not the extended version, but he would take reduced damage. But other than that, his rogue doesn't really have anything in their kit to survive like major falls. So here's a general scenario why certain people tend to die with fall damage over and over. Drowning falls into the same category in my perspective. It is an unwillingness of taking the extra minute and basically using a highly dangerous shortcut in an anticipation that will save you time. Oftentimes it boils down to I want to save 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatnot, and then you're basically having 20 hours, 30 hours, 50 hours, or in this case level 30 is potentially 60 hours in down the drain. Fall damage is real, and specifically in 1,000 Needles, like all of these mountains, the textures here are deceiving. You can easily start falling from here, then you rush down and kind of fall to the death. So my number one advice is for elevators, always wait until they arrive, then go in, just like a normal human being. In real life, you also wouldn't rush to an elevator where the door is closing and you know that it's not waiting, and then try to John Wick slide your way into the elevator. That's just not how it goes. You actually wait until the elevator comes, and then things are fine. At this point, he could have still saved himself. He could have even gotten the elevator by turning around 360 and then backpedaling into it, but it is not worth it. Even another option, he could have stealthed in order to reduce his movement, and then would have gotten there. At this point, he's dead. He just doesn't know it yet. Yeah, and that's all she wrote. Don't do it. Don't use shortcuts. Let's move on to the next death. Alright, next death is coming from the Hinterlands. Oh, I know what's happening, and it's nasty. No, don't run. Guys, seriously. Are you kidding me? Oh, they pull additional enemies. Specifically, the wolves are really, really nasty. Yeah, cold snap and have your block ready. Listen, so much to unpack here. It kind of follows the same theme as the don't save 30 seconds thing, and then completely lose your progress. So we are up here in Jin-Thalor, which is the lead area in the Hinterlands. Horde has a couple of interesting quests here, and they even do have the job opening quest. They have the Vessels quest. I assume they have done a couple of the other quests. So they are a normal group that is not just trying to rush through it. Tank, two casters. I've seen a Warlock and a Mage, a healer, which is a shaman, and maybe a druid or something else as the last one. So now here's the problem, and that's the knowledge deficit that they that they did not understand. The walls here of these little cabinets are see-through at parts. They are not fully stable, which means if you're going too close or put totems very close to them, you're going to pull the entire interior, which oftentimes is 3 to 5 enemies, and that spills doom essentially. So now we're following a mage here. That mage has almost no mana left, but still has mana gem, does have evocation, and so on and so forth. Other than that, as far as I'm concerned, they are tapped with the resources. So their healer, which I assume is Picklebound, doesn't have a lot of mana left, which is why I think that they begin to panic. Let's take a look. So that is one enemy, 2, 3, 4 enemies. All right. Here's the deal with the current group setup. There is still plenty that you can do without making it awkward. For starters, the Nova is a correct play, and we're just going by what the mage could or should do at this point. So there should be, first of all, they're communicating in chat, which tells me that they are not in Discord. Mistake number one in my perspective. But assuming that you're still wanting to pull through with it, you're now going to use your mana gem and start CCing. The CCs should be as follow in my perspective. You want to take one of the blood drinkers out. They are high steady damage. They need to kill the hide skinner, and then focus on the caster. Then we still have 2 more blood drinkers. Tank is okay. It's now time for one hand and shield, death stance, disarm, and then you essentially would only have 3 mobs that you're fighting at the time. We don't have or this group doesn't have the mana to actually pull more than that off. In a good group scenario, you could, as the Warlock, also do a couple of things here. Again, don't know the spec, but assuming full demo spec. Quick resummon of Succubus, Charm 1, Sheep another 1, that's already 2 out, and you're fighting only against 2. You could even go as far as to say you're going to maybe fear the third, but that I don't know enough about how much of this area they actually cleared. So Cone of Cold and so on, it's all nice, but the mage is, I think, underappreciating the situation that they are in. He's trying to solve a problem with damage, which actually does not require damage at this point, but good crowd control. And that's where this group is lacking. I'm not sure what else as crowd control they do have. Healer should only focus on healing. The mana spring totem is already down, so there's at least going to be a little bit of regeneration. Mana could also, healer could also just drink up. So they are now trying to target dummy and basically kite these mobs, and that is where all of the problems are starting. With all of the target dummies, and here's the thing, like, that's an massive experience problem. The group doesn't appreciate just how much more fuel they have left in the tank. I am just going out of a limb and assuming that several of them still have potion cooldowns, and they clearly have more than one target dummy. There's an entire health bar with this Void Walker to off tank. So, and that's why Discord is so important. Even at this point, the right call would be Warrior says, okay, shut up, listen, we're going to sheep one. Void Walker is off tanking another one of these, and maybe fear a third one, because I'm seeing that everything is clear. Like, that in itself would also solve the situation, even with everything that they have done so far. But no, they are running. Like, look at that. All of this is clear. With a warrior AoE fear, you could even go in and like AoE fear all of them here and just solo kill them. Instead, they are running into one of the most dangerous areas. One person suggests hardstoning, like that's the immediate roach coming through in their perspective. They need to get out of the scenario, and that's really not what they need to do. This is completely winnable. The rest boils down to just poor decisions over poor decisions. This ice block was unnecessary, just drops aggro to other people. He's continuously trying to kite them. They, on the other hand, are making it even more difficult. And here he's in a safe spot. And as much as that might be a difficult take, if your decision was to go all the way here and take the safe spot, then you should stay here and hearth out, even if one of their friends dies, because otherwise everybody is going to die. So lots of knowledge gaps, but also a bit of an execution gap here. Third as of today comes from BRD Bar. Super dangerous area, so I'm not surprised to see this.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Yep. Okay, well, that's GG. Okay. I mean, look, that's an easy one to cover. So for starters, BRD, very dangerous place to be in, because all of these here, or the majority thereof, are elites. They are non-aggro, but they are social. So the moment that you aggro something, everything will come, and that's a bit of a problem. Phalanx has just been triggered by the alcohol event to basically go rampage and open the door, and the tank druid with a warden staff, by the way, is what I would assume trying to go in and is trying to moon fire the guy to get initial aggro. For starters, that's not a very good play. Assuming that he is feral, his fairy fire, which would be another insta cast, is creating more threat, and he really doesn't need a lot of threat. Then he has the wrong target, so that again is a mistake. Given that he has an epic, I assume, and there's kind of a little bit of a green glow, so that's either lower or bigger agility on it, so he has money. In that case, and they are mid-50s. In that case, I assume he does have a Petri. So,
he fucked up.
Again, this guy writes shit instead of doing something about the situation. He's still out of form. All of them are coming, and you can see he loses half of his hit points before anything happens, really. So the only correct call at this point, by the way, is not to fight it, but to bail out. So this is a Petri out moment. In case of me being the druid, the correct way to approach the situation would have been cat form, sprint, get out of here into maybe nifty stopwatch if he has it, or speed potion. He decides to stand there, and the moment that he actually transforms, you can already see the second pack here has aggroed. So we got 1, 2, 3 elites, couple of non-elites, the boss, and 3 more elites, and around 10 non-elites. The biggest problem with these fights, not the amount of incoming damage, that's actually healable. The reason why this is always or nearly always going wrong is because you have so many casters that you can't really approach. If you move in, you're going to pull more, and you cannot keep threat on all of them. Even if the healer stands here in line of sight and then starts to heal and let the casters come, it is very, very difficult. Fun fact, I was in a similar situation where my tank wanted to bow pull phalanx, and then last second mouse clicked on one of these Grim Patreons and an arrow hit it, and it was a Patri out, one of the very few ones that we had. So you can see priest already going. The rogue says, okay, F that, we're out, and the rest of the group is also going. And it's maybe 5 seconds in that Hash Brownies is dead. So for starters, he deserved that death. Secondly, the only real correct response here would have been to either immediately run, like I said, if you don't have Petri, or Petri and then Alt F4 and basically survive that way. Anyways, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.